about to dance them just like I tell you. And when I say hold yourself, I want all of you to get ready.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to the Nerdsmith Power Hour. I am Angela. This is Logan. I'm getting better at figuring out where you're on the opposite side of me when we start. We are directors at Nerdsmith and fellow creators, and we are here on your lunch break.
Opposite from what?
Chat my Zoom call. You're
Oh, you don't hide yourself in your Zoom call?
No,
okay.
I find myself watching myself as I stream because it helps me
I can't. Oh God,
yeah.
no.
It
No.
When I'm
Yeet.
It helps me control what my face is doing. Because I have resting bitch face, so I pay attention to my face when I'm doing stuff. I've also gotten over not having a problem with my voice, so maybe I've just developed tremendous narcissism.
There you go. Narcissism. It solves all your problems.
But hi, everybody.
Makes you president.
We are here to take a casual, fun break from your everyday life on your lunch break, and yeah. Well, okay, so Heath, it's not necessarily resting bitch face, it's resting so concerned looking that people DM me and ask me if I'm okay face. Like, when I get really concentrated, it looks like there's something wrong. Like, and people just go, Angela, are you okay? Like, you look really worried. I'm just like, no, I'm fine, I just zoned out. I'm looking at something. That happened to me this week, too. So, today is Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday, which means we had shenanigans yesterday.
Lies. We tried to have shenanigans yesterday.
We persevered and eventually had shenanigans yesterday. And to which, as you can see, this is
a
emphasis.
Cigar?
No, it's a tube that had glow stick bracelets in it, but it's really like
significant.
Firm, and it's weird. I gotta put it down because I keep using it for emphasis, like a wand, like a pointer of my
Swish
my
and
talking,
flick.
pretty much perpetually. So anyway, so yesterday was Tuesday, which means we had shenanigans. We did eventually have shenanigans, and we had a little preview subscriber exclusive episode that I still haven't changed my name on Zoom for, so I am listed as Curie. But we introduced our characters a little bit. We're going to do so publicly over this week. I'm going to be releasing our class reveals and our character art reveals this week. So we'll get to you'll get to see more about them. I'm very excited. And also Tessa and I are on TikTok, and after stream yesterday, I responded to a couple of her duets, and so you can find us on TikTok and get little insights into our characters. I did way too many of them last night that were Curie, and I'm like, ooh, this is too spoilery. I can't use this one yet. So I have like a backlog of drafts that I can't publish. I'll have to save them and try to hold on to them for later. But
Sounds
anyway, so yeah, I had a lovely time yesterday. After the show started, we had a really fun RP session, and
yeah, it was great.
It turned out really fun. Ren cracked me every time they opened their mouth.
Ren is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
But like in this way of not being bombastic, but being so withdrawn, it sucks you in like a goddamn vacuum. And I meant like space vacuum, not like vacuum cleaner. But like
a vacuum.
You're just like, what are they gonna do? It killed me. So yeah, we had a really fun time exploring our characters a little bit. We had some interaction that I didn't expect. There's some things about my character I have not come up with yet. Full disclosure. Like why she became an adventurer. I still don't have. I have spoilery.
But you don't. But I guess the thing is, you don't necessarily need to be an adventurer with the way we've set this up. You know, you have done enough because you're all of your bardic, not bard, roguish abilities are a part of just your everyday life. You know,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily need to have, you could have done some of that stuff, but like self-protection and defense and things like that, you could have learned a lot of that through that. Doesn't mean you used it necessarily.
Sure. And we haven't really gone into like the level of criminality that may or may not have been part of her background. Being a rogue doesn't necessarily mean that you're a criminal. That's certainly not her background. Her background is a courtier, and that could be, you can interpret that a number of ways. That's kind of what I loved about it, where if she's an information broker or works for something that is an information broker, yeah, that's roguish. That's not necessarily like illegal. It's just, I know things, people want to know things, and they pay me for those things. So yeah, I'm super excited to get to know her and get to know everybody. Everybody's so good.
Yeah,
everybody.
Really
so like, okay, so I will compliment every single one of them. I already complimented Ren. Heather.
Ren sucks them in like a vacuum. Got it.
Multiple times, Heather made me want to say something to the effect, in character, that her very presence is going to be an exercise in patience. The idea that she just talks and talks and talks, and in Curie's opinion says very little of anything. It's like, you'd think I'd be really excited about someone who talks that much. But I love the fact that I had such a visceral reaction to her already. It's like, that's gonna play off really well. I'm excited by the fact that she's leaning into that so enthusiastically. Mike's already gonna make us cry. I wanted, my heart was weeping as he started speaking, and then he told a story, and I'm like, oh no. We're gonna get a children's book every single episode.
It's amazing.
I'm very excited to learn more about Tessa's character. She
Piper.
is, well, I love the fact that we have two small firecrackers that wield hammers. It's so good. Just the front line is going to be these two. Can you imagine what that would look like to just have like two very small, very angry femme-presenting people?
Well, okay,
going,
femme-presenting. But I was going to say there's actually a great scene from the Lord of the Rings where the hobbits run out in front of everyone else. You can see these tinies just like, and like, wait, what's going on? Like, so, that is intimidating on its own.
I have to remember to use
not
that
a hobbit
at some point.
But a halfling. That's a big deal for Ren.
Ren's fighting it. Ren's like, I want to call them a hobbit.
Oh, was that the issues? Because they almost said
hobbit.
Pancake makers. Yeah, I love it.
Well, in their social media posts when they're posting their costume, there's a lot of, fine, I'll call them a halfling. And then Kyle, I'm super excited about, because we already have built a really fun improvisational rapport with each other.
Yeah.
We're terrible people.
Yeah, the whole group's kind of terrible people, which I really like, especially this style of campaign when we talked about, Spelljammer and space travel and all the tropes and
Prime Directive. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, no, we're not worried about any Prime Directive, but like I think a lot of Firefly, this idea that nobody on that ship is really nice or a good person overall, except for Kaylee. It's gonna be great.
Oh my god, yeah. Piper and Glatone from Banana Brothers would get along really, really well, because all of their fighting equipment is technically cooking equipment. Glatone's shield is a wok.
Nice.
It's pretty amazing. And he has plate armor.
Right, actual plates.
It made me so upset when I saw the picture. I'm like, God damn it.
That's awesome.
It's so good. But yeah, so we had a wonderful time yesterday. I don't know what the inevitable fate of those episodes are going to be. I think they're going to end up on Patreon as bonus content, so you still can catch up with like our little goblin one shot, or
Holy God, our premiere is next week. I've got to get those packages out today. That's got to happen.
Yes.
Sorry, I just realized I've got 6 days.
Yep. I should have my glasses in 3 to 5, so hopefully you'll get to admire my eye makeup better next time.
I hope that I'll have an appointment before a couple of weeks from now, so I can get some non-glare glasses, so you're not staring at rings the whole time.
Yeah, I love my glasses, but yeah, I'm just really excited because I've been playing around with makeup so much in the last few weeks that I am very excited. I made a mistake today. It was a $6 mistake. It's not a huge deal, but I bought lip gloss for my top lip to keep doing like the tabaxi look, like the faux cat makeup, and it's glossy and it's like the sticky stuff that you like paint on your face. I need matte brown so it doesn't drive me nuts. Like, I can't close my mouth. There's something on my face. Like, I need something that actually feels like it could just stick there. But yeah. So, I see lots of chat. I hope you guys are doing well today. Today being very rainy where I am. I'm very happy to be inside now. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of video production. I've been doing a lot of prepping for Goonies. We have our teaser trailers. Everybody did a really stellar job with their teaser trailers. They made them up themselves. Hi, Ren. Yes, you have been summoned. We've just been talking about how ridiculous and amazing Lilac was last night, and how I equated your
she does, or they know.
Well, I equated. Oh, you told them what I said?
Oh, it's in our chat. Yes, absolutely.
I called it an RP.
I did an out of context quote. That's why Ren is here. Probably looking for context. I'll be leaving now.
I called you a vacuum in the best way possible.
It really was the best way. But out of context, it was kind of weird.
It's okay.
And it was awesome. Sorry.
No, we're super excited to get to RP.
Welcome to Shenanigans.
Sure. Yes, welcome to it's like we just never stop and it just continues till 3 p.m. Eastern. Oh, we had someone personally responsible for doing that during the Countless Heroes campaign, Keith. There was a Muppet walk counter.
There was, yes, there was. I got up to 60s. Yeah, somewhere in the 60s. Yeah. That's how I earned my title Devious Muppet, thanks to Autumn.
So what
it's a moniker, not a title. Is it a moniker?
It's your handle. It's a handle.
I don't think so. This is my handle. This is my spout.
See, I used to get madder at those things.
Then you started doing them.
I've grown a tolerance for them.
Is my mic like clipping? I feel like it's really hot right now.
Not that I can hear.
Put a little wig on it. It's just... Okay. Sorry. Must just be me. Boop, 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 bloop, boop, bloop.
No, I can't. You can only barely see what I'm holding on screen. It's not worth showing. So, let me think. What else are we up to? Oh, so on Tuesday, I guested on...
I don't know what I did. I'm getting yelled at.
I don't know. You have to be clearer and more specific than that.
Yeah, because it'll be 10 minutes before I can look at the chat. Exactly. Well, which thing in particular?
Yeah.
Oh, my handle and my spout, I bet. That's what it was, I bet.
Probably. So on Tuesday afternoon, I guested on a friend's stream.
Yes, that's your second time, right?
Yeah, third time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so very happy to be able to call them friends. So Jason, who is on the network, Jason Catrone, he DMs a game on Susanna Grace's channel called Grains of Truth. It's a Witcher TTRPG, and I've been guesting for the last 3 episodes, which has been like 2 months since they do a bi-weekly thing, and we had to skip one, and it was really heartbreaking because I didn't get to play for a month. But it was very fun. We had a great time. I am possibly, I think it's more likely than not, in talks to continue my stint. As I was told by one of the regular cast members, she used to be a guest, and then she lives there. So they really enjoy my character. Ruby is a dwarven bard in the Witcher universe. dwarves are very covetous of their women. There's like a weird urban legend that like overworlders are going to steal their women, so like to have me out and about on the surface was a problem for my very, very extended family. And so there were like 30 dudes that came with me when I left the homestead.
Okay.
And they're just all like my second and third cousins, and they're like defending my honor. Meanwhile, Ruby's running around like hooking up with every girl she meets. She's on tour as a part. Like,
Yes.
Excuse me. They think it's like they think that the humans are going to steal your women. That's my job. But yeah, she's a useless lesbian bard, and I'm very excited about her. But yeah, so I've played 3 times now with them, and they're a very fun group. There's 2 witchers and a sorceress that I'm hanging out with, and I get to take the piss out of Jason every time because, well, apparently Jason and the other guy that's on the stream, Jamie, hasn't been there until last week or this week. They're like 24. They're 23 and 24. Susie and Lydia and I are in our 30s, and we're the ones cutting up and being assholes.
Yeah.
And so it's delightful when we all had this discussion about age on stream. Susie's just like, oh, and yet like Jason's the one that's suffering all the time because we're just a bunch of goof offs. So yeah, it's very fun. So yeah, you should check them out. It's every other week on Susanna Grace's channel. You should just check Susanna Grace out in general. She's really cool. She plays or played in a Judge Dredd RPG, playing Judge Judy. There had to have been Judge. Okay, so I will be personally offended if there was not a Judge Reinhold. If there's like you didn't have Judge Turpin, there needs to be.
Who was it before Judge Judy? Gosh, that was so long ago. Was it Wapner? Judge Wapner was the People's Court before that?
That's right.
Wow,
right.
I'm old.
It's soup time. It is official. The power hour does not begin until Jesse has
soup time. Woo!
Soup.
Wapner. It was Wapner. Yeah. Heathworld.
Just a little more.
Till I die? What is just a little bit more? What?
No,
what are you?
Just a little old. Just a little older.
Okay.
Is what I was trying to say. Just slightly finer aged.
Like cheese or wine.
I was gonna say wine, but if you want to call yourself cheese, sure.
Take the cheese to sickbay.
Oh, so how are you doing on your Star Trek watching? Have you finished?
Oh, I've been done for a while. Although I did have... Okay, so this last week has been kind of weird. Netflix lapsed, and I gotta wait for payday, so it's like, okay, I gotta worry about that later. So I didn't have access to Black Thunder, which is what I've been watching. Black Lightning, which is what I've been watching. So I'm like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? So I was up late one night, and I didn't want to sit at my computer anymore. I was like, I'm just going on the couch, popped open Amazon Prime. And wait, I've done all the Star Trek shows. I should re-binge the movies. I should just go through and over a week, and I'll just watch all the movies. And of course, my brain, just like I do with Star Wars, I have to start at the beginning. And I haven't watched Star Trek 1 since I was in my teens, probably, and I had kind of forgotten just how terrible it is. It's like they literally blew their entire budget on the CG and not even CG, but the special effects, and basically everybody in the movie gets like 7 lines total. And it's like
Kirstie Alley's in that.
Yeah, and it's just so bad. Like, seriously, it is literally an hour and 20 minutes of them just flying through an alien ship. I'm like, what is going? Am I having a stroke? What is
They're
this?
Not going to let that special effects go to waste.
Yeah, no, and I mean, obviously the miniature sets they built and everything they were doing was just really incredible for the time, absolutely. But looking at it now is just boring. So after finishing that, which I did, I did get through it and watched the entire thing. After that, I was like, nope, I'm done. And I've not watched any Star Trek since. So that was about a week ago. I'm sure I'll go back and get Khan going because... and now I think I understand why Khan looked... You know, it is a good movie, but it looked like such an amazing movie because it came off of that and you're just like, oh,
Which
okay. Khan, Wrath of Khan?
Oh, Wrath of Khan. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was spelling it C-O-N, and I was like, Con
Wrath
Air?
of
What are you talking
Convention.
about?
Con Air is a great movie, too. I like Con Air.
I
And Air
just got
Force One.
invited by...
I like plane movies.
I just got... Plane...
I don't like airplanes.
My plane. I just got invited by my husband to a fancy 1920s party for cancer research, like a charity party.
Oh, nice.
I was like, how much? He's like, $25? I was like, okay, sure. He's like, and we can dress up fancy.
Fancy. Because you need an excuse to dress up fancy.
Well, I do. To go out fancy, yes. And he's like, why don't you wear this stuff out? I'm like, it is a full-length purple gown. Where the fuck am I going to wear this? To Olive Garden?
Anywhere.
He's like, yeah.
Denny's. Fucking, you look
No.
amazing.
The problem is,
They'd be like,
I
did you
never
just come
feel
from
like...
prom?
Right.
It's like,
the problem
it's
is it feels
Tuesday.
like you've been somewhere instead of you're going... I like to go places fancy. I don't like looking like I've been somewhere nice and now I'm like...
You're like, no, I just wear this all the time. What?
Yeah. But I'm very excited. Andy does look good in a 3-piece suit, if I do say so myself.
You did say so
yeah.
yourself.
I did. I may, is what you're saying. I may say so myself.
Oh, okay, sure.
But yeah, that's one of the things I love about TikTok is that I can wear whatever the fuck I want and it serves a purpose. Big air quotes. What else are we talking? Today's kind of a loosey-goosey day, if you haven't noticed, in terms of topics.
Yeah, you guys want to talk about anything? Let us know.
If you guys want to talk, please do throw some stuff at us. I am currently in the middle of inadvertently setting up a cosplay room because I've been doing so much like character stuff that I now have a closet that used to be exclusively for craft supplies now actually has like full outfits on in hangers over
What
there.
did you do with the craft supplies?
Well, they're still there. I just had some room. I was like,
Oh,
I
okay.
could use I can actually use the hanging space now. But I'm organizing all of my props and stuff so that I have them in like little baggies by character so I don't lose anything. And then I go, okay, if I need this person, I can pull this out. It's got all the jewelry and stuff. And
One of the best ways that Tess and I have used hanging space when we had too much of it, and I've seen other people do even more, is get a shoe organizer and then get shoe
Yes.
boxes and slide them in. You can organize a bunch
yeah.
of stuff like that.
It's a good idea. I also like behind the door stuff, but my my apartment has absolutely the worst doors. So I actually did make a concerted effort to find out how to fix a door that's sticking. So I know how to do that now. Like fixing it at the what do you call it? The hinge. Popping the little bar out, and then you twist with a screw or with a pliers. You move some of the little thread pieces, and then you lean the door back into place, and you put the bar back in, and it actually like will lift the door as needed. I learned how to do that, except the people at my apartment complex never did that when they were fixing doors. They repaint everything when someone comes in, and now there's just paint layers that stick. And then when it started sticking, they would just saw the door a little bit or like sand the
it
door.
down, yeah.
So I can't really fix my doors. But the problem is I'm up really super late. So Andy's asleep at like 3 a.m. and I'm like trying to unstick the door. I'm just trying desperately to figure out how to get it to not stick so I don't
baby
wake him
powder
up every morning.
Baby powder is a way that I've done that before. Start by, if you have a little sandpaper, just lightly sand it so it's not glossy. It's usually gloss paint or semi-gloss that does that. Well, no, you start there and then the baby powder sticks better is what I'm saying. So it helps it.
You better go.
So yes, baby powder, but you have to kind of reapply it occasionally, and occasionally it might fall a little bit on you. That's why you want to use very little and kind of dust it on with your hand instead of
Just paint it on.
Exactly. So that's one way.
I'll
So
give it a go. I'll report
so
back with my.
just because we're talking about random weird stories, so my stepfather's house does that, and now my stepfather's house is built on a hill, so underneath it there's a place you can get under the house, not a basement from inside, but like you go outside, there's a little door to nowhere,
There's a
Narnia,
hobbit
you open
hole.
it up, and yeah, and on the left side of the back of the house you can stand up, and at the front of the house I'd have to lay down to get in there. So so it was all on all of these little basically pillars. So the first time I noticed this, I went up, to the front of my new stepfather's house, or actually engaged to my mom at the time, and I saw that there was this little itty bitty tiny just hairline crack going through his patio. I was like, wow, this is kind of weird. What is this? He goes, oh, well, basically the house is sliding down the hill. I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, so 30 years ago when I bought it, there was no gap here between this and the thing. And right now there's about a quarter of an inch gap. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. That's horrendous. That really scares the shit out of me. And I lived in the house for a few years. But what would happen is when the doors start to stick in the summer or the winter, when the weather would change, we would have to go under the house. He's got a 9-ton jack under there, and we would jack up and adjust the house to get all the doors to re-level and work. And it was very, very strange to do, but basically we were just leveling out the floor inside the house because parts of it were slipping down the hill. And it was really such a strange thing. By the way, now, 20 years or 15, 18 years later, that crack is now about a full inch down the patio. And I'm like, that's a lot. So, yeah.
That happened in a couple of months on my sister's old house.
Oh, God.
They have since moved.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm very glad that they moved. They found a really nice house that is not splitting like someone opened the depths of hell.
Ooh, curtains.
Oh, no, and I've taken off the doors on my closet. That has given me a ton of space. I've actually... and then I took moving cellophane, wrapped around the door to, air seal it or to make it a little more sealed, and then I just threw them in a closet on my balcony. So that's where my closet doors are right now. But yeah. Oh my gosh. The swamp took Jesse's high school. That's horrifying. Oh gosh, there was something I wanted to talk about. What was I gonna say?
That's scary.
Yeah, doing cosplay stuff. You were talking about the Hobbit hole.
We talked a lot about hobbits today.
Yeah, we have. That's fun. Okay, yeah, I had to think. I wanted to ask the audience, this is going to be an ongoing question, and I want you guys to fill it in if you have any ideas. So, if you look in your chat on Twitch, there is what looks like, I guess, a little crystal ball icon and a number. It is your streaming points, the points you earn for actually sitting and watching a streaming show. You can redeem those for a few different fun little things that Twitch has on default, but what it turns out is that you can make custom rewards for those Twitch points. So I want to start brainstorming what kinds of things in game or on stream we could let you guys redeem points for. Something that's not necessarily monetary, so things that we want to save for yeah, there you go, Jesse. One of the things that you can do by default is customize emojis, which is very fun. But there's only so much you can do, and you can highlight messages and things like that. So you can make your message more prominent with some points. I want to see if we can come up with some things that can be done in-game in Shenanigans or on stream here or things like that you could spend your points on, and they're going to probably be relatively high level points. So some things that I had off the top of my head were, if we really wanted to do this, I'm not sure we really do this, but some streamers, they say, hey, if you spend a few thousand points, I'll follow you on Twitter. We'll be Twitter mutuals. There's things like that. I also thought of one that I'm actually very excited about that I'd like to figure out how to implement for Shenanigans is a family portrait option. So you spend 5,000 points and we will all pose for a picture and take a screenshot, and then we will write up a little message to the person who paid for it, and it'll look like a postcard from Shenanigans, and we'll put that on Twitter and we'll tag you and stuff. I really like that one. I think that one's very low effort. And if someone's just like, this is really fun and I want to commemorate being here for this stream, we all just like silly pose, whatever pose for a picture for like a second or two, take a screenshot, and then we would send that to you on social media. It'd be promotions for the show, but then also something to interact with that you would get the next day. I think that would be really fun. Maybe we have a limit to how many, you can limit how many you do per stream. So we could say like, we only do 2 of those per stream. So if you have that many points, you can cash them in. Or if it's already been spent, you can cash it in next time. But things like that. I'm trying to think of things that are low work for us, and don't take away the value of the donation bonus stuff or the donation benefits. So yeah, if anybody comes up with any cool ideas, please put them in chat. I'm just scouring my brain trying to think of interesting things to put there. I think it's just another way of increasing engagement or rewarding the people that watch all the time but don't necessarily, always have the money to donate. It's something non-monetary that we can interact with. So that is Twitch is coming out with all these different things. We haven't really worked with the hype train yet. I think it requires a little bit. It requires so much effort that we don't necessarily have the attention for while we're in the middle of Shenanigans to be able to do. Though I do like the hype train. We also don't have enough people that it's sustainable for more than 1 or 2 levels. And I also feel so grateful, but also a little bad when we have the same people giving us money. And I'm like, you spend that much on us every week. You're wonderful. Thank you. I feel bad, but thank you.
I don't feel bad. Thank you. We work very hard.
Sure. But yeah, I really want to think about how to make that the stream points valuable or fun for people. Oh, the other one was like if you spend a little bit, we would either try to incorporate your username into something in the game, or we would just shout you out really quick or something on stream. Acknowledge you.
Kind of like a nerd alert or something.
Yeah. Yeah, just like a little ping noise or something, or just like, it would just be like, oh, hey, thank you so much. You're awesome. And then continue on. That is an option. So yeah. It's okay if nobody has any ideas. I think it's a very new and a very specific thing. Yeah. So I'll just be continuing to think about it. Let's see. What else is there to talk about? Oh, so not to, like, I guess it's fine to promote a thing I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. What you think?
There's I posted it to the directors a couple days ago. There's a new Kickstarter that launched. If y'all are still gluttons for putting money into things, it's called the Infinidungeon, and it's from the same people that did the what were they called? There was a Kickstarter that came out a little while ago. That was, I think, last year. Immersive Battle Maps, it was called. And they did this large cardboard book that when you opened it, it had a map in it. And all the pages had full spread maps for using in tabletop games. And this year they're coming out with this thing called the Infinidungeon, which is taking the idea of having pre-made but portable, easy to access maps to sort of a ridiculous degree. So imagine you have a very large scroll with wet erase vinyl, and there's a map printed on it, but it is 100 feet.
Jesus.
Of map.
That is crazy.
I think it's 100. Is it 100 or 10? It might be 10 feet. No, it's 100 feet. It is 100 feet, a completely continuous dungeon of a certain type, of like a certain what do you call it, landscape or something. So there's like a lava dungeon, there's a jungle dungeon, there's a snow dungeon, there things like that. And you can roll it to just what you need. And so you can have this sort of fog of war going ahead. They don't necessarily know what's ahead. And then it's rolling on this square shaped handle, which lets you roll it and rest it so that it keeps it up. But it's wet erase, and they did such a beautiful job. I was so, from a business perspective, was so impressed with their commercial, their Kickstarter video, because they were able to go, this is what is valuable about getting more than one of these. You can crisscross them on your table and then use them to extend and add variety to your dungeon. You can have your players be able to branch in different directions if you want to crisscross the dungeons. Or you can take our book that we did at our last Kickstarter and put that next to your map, and you have even more dungeon variety options. Like, you can have little rooms that are different ecosystems or like different spaces. So they did such a good job of like synergizing between their old Kickstarter and their new Kickstarter in the video. I was like, they got their shit down. Like,
That's
they really
very
know how
cool.
to pitch their stuff. But yeah, it looks really cool. If I played more in person, I would 100% be down for it. It's a very neat idea to have this very long, and the other thing that they were pitching was that, one, it's a little easier on the DM. You can unscroll stuff and mark stuff in wet erase if you want specific things happening, but you can also sort of like save your place. So you're not having to haul a bunch of maps. You can just haul this scroll thing around, and it's got your entire dungeon crawl if you want to run just exclusively a dungeon crawl. Or you can just use it as a map. Like, pick a spot that you think works really good as a map section and use it like that. So yeah, Infinite Dungeon looked really, really cool. As expected, they blasted through their minimum. They were asking for $10,000. They're at $400,000 right now, and it's been 3 days. So they're doing great. I am curious. I assume that what they're going to be doing for their stretch goals. They're adding, and they're almost there too. They're going to be adding sticker packs with different little pieces that you can add to the map. And I assume they're going to be removable, that you can place them in spots to add. There's walls and rocks and water features and things that you can add to the space on the map. So it lets you do that like nice customization with the art assets that they designed for the map.
Neat.
It's very, very neat. So that's at 450,000. So they're not quite there yet, but they're almost there. And yeah, it looks really, really, really cool. I think that's the big one. But so they've got a haunted dungeon, a sort of like lava dungeon, a waterfall sort of Trouble on the Grogmar River. So that's actually a forest that has a big river going through it, and you're following the river, and that's what the map is. So yeah, it's really neat. I'm very impressed. Yeah, you go ahead and check the stickers out, Jesse. I also have I have stickers that I've collected. I think I showed them before. I use them for my bullet journal. Big old fucking 6,000 sticker book that I bought. But yeah, that was my big thing I saw this week that I enjoyed.
Very cool
to share. From both a role player perspective and a DM perspective, but also a just business perspective, because it's a really cool product. As D&D and as role-playing games get more mainstream, we're gonna have really cool stuff coming out, and I'm just very excited by the fact that there's so many options to have really interesting in-person experiences. Can you imagine taking that to like a con? That scrolly map, like, that's awesome. Just being able to walk around with like 100 feet of map in your backpack.
Cool. I love it.
I would not be remotely surprised if they didn't start taking those to cons to show them off, or they hadn't already.
Sure, yeah.
To preview them.
I'm sure they have.
All right, so we got 15 minutes left. You want to talk about something else?
Sure. What do you want to talk about? Has the audience said anything?
Besides love of stickers and how bullet journals are awesome. Not really.
Bullet journals are awesome. Wish I had the patience for them.
It is you could cosplay as a cartographer. That's a good call. Yes, not with the bullet journal. But bullet journals are challenging. I did find once I let go of the bullet journals were designed for people with ADHD. They were designed by a guy who has ADHD, and so he specifically was designing it to try to make something functional and practical. But of course, you have lots of neurotypical people latching onto the idea and then taking it to an absurd degree in terms of the meticulous artistry of it. So there's very much like two different camps of people who find bullet journaling very fun and want to do it. It's the people that make them beautiful works of art, which I'd never have the patience for, or the people that have come to terms with it just being a quick and dirty way to journal. And it's okay if it's not pretty. It's the functionality that's more important. But I could definitely see getting like completely paralyzed by, what do I do?
I in this conversation have realized that early on in life, and I don't know if I haven't gotten any stickers recently, but I had a lot of stickers as a kid. They were all in a folder, sitting in their original packaging or opened to look at, and I never put a sticker on anything.
I got over that. Over that now.
Because if I put a sticker on something, what if I want it later to put on something else?
Committing to the sticker. Yeah. No, I always used to do that. I would love stickers and then never use them.
Couldn't do it.
Oh, I got new stickers.
Stars.
Not
today.
I gotta show you my new stickers. I got them free.
I don't think I could do it now.
I got them free at the art store.
Oh, I like that.
They're cute. The guy who runs. Oh no! I ruined my. Oh no! I just rolled over this with my chair and it's fine.
That's robust.
I'm keeping it. It's proven itself. It has gone through the gauntlet and survived unscathed. It gets to stay. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put that on my bullet journal. It'll make me remember to be grateful for things. I also have a white one with black text, so I'll have to decide. But yeah, I have been feeling pretty good lately. Been stressful, but I feel like I have a lot more energy. Could also be helpful that I've been drinking a shit ton of peach green tea.
Maybe. I
don't drink caffeine that much, and now I do. And I'm like, and it's the green tea is not like, or this, it's like iced tea. It's like Crystal Light, basically. It doesn't have as much caffeine as like a can of soda or a coffee, but it's more than I normally have consumed. So I didn't have it for 2 days. And
right.
I was like, like I felt the withdrawal, and I remembered, right, that's why I didn't like the idea of drinking coffee.
Yeah.
We got the tech figured out, Jesse. We got the tech figured out. The gremlins are freaking gone. They have been banished. Logan has defeated them.
Yes, so
like Gandalf and the Balrog, it took all day and all night, but he did it.
Well, and I could only do it after dismissing everyone else, so I got all the XP. Yeah, no, basically
we left stream and he went, "Fly, you fools."
Yeah. More Hobbit references. Yeah, basically, there was a hardware acceleration issue with Zoom. I don't know if it updated in the last week or something, but there's a whole bunch of new features. Even their help section shows the wrong page now. So the option to turn off hardware acceleration isn't where it used to be. It's now 4 tick boxes instead of 1. So there's a whole bunch of things. So if you ever have any problem getting Zoom to work with OBS, let me know. I can help you out. But yes, it was fixed as of today. And hi, Root of all beers. I like that. It's awesome. Today's topic is chaos. We're pretty much just kind of jumping from topic to topic. If you have something to talk about or a question to ask, let us know. We'd be glad to answer it or talk about anything. We're talking about all sorts of random stuff. Earlier we talked about 100 feet of dungeon that you can carry around in your backpack. And we talked about stickers and bullet journaling. We've talked about caffeine. We've talked about all sorts of things. Whatever you want to talk about today. We're kind of easy today.
It's sort of the format. We've been loosening the format steadily.
Often we can latch onto a topic and stick with it for the most part, but not today. Sure. Not today.
Oh, so one of the things that I'm really enjoying Oh yeah, there is a new artifact. Okay, so there's some new Unearthed Arcana we can talk about for a couple minutes.
Well, I haven't read it, so that's not
But
going
I'll
to be
give you. I can
terribly
give you
helpful, but go for
But
it.
I can give you a concept of what it is. So they just came out with basically an Iron Man artificer. You're in. You have armor.
All right, now I need to play a game.
Uh-huh. Opinion of third-party influence on D&D. Can you expand on that a little bit more, Root? I assume you mean like third-party homebrew content, but yeah, let me know what you think. What you're thinking. And then there's a.
So you said enough. I'm sold. You had me
Well,
an
there's, like,
Iron Man
3.
artificer. No, the other ones
there's,
don't
like-
matter. So I'm
Man
100% for this. This sounds amazing. There was there was something in the original 3.5 Eberron that was in one of the expansion books, which was a Soul Forged or something, where people would start to bond parts of Warforged to them, so they could use, like, they would replace their arm with like a Warforged arm or something. And
those are on D&D Beyond now.
that's awesome.
Like, they have
Very cool.
pieces and like stuff that.
So I'm all for this idea. I would love to play a fantasy Iron Man, and I'm so for this.
Well, what it reminded me of was somebody in the conversation about that subclass talked about the fact that they were already planning on doing something like that by reflavoring some classic wizard spells, and it hadn't occurred to me till they said something that magic missile 100% could be reflavored into like a homing missile.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Like, that's a great idea. So the idea of
So-
basically turning that armor into Iron Man armor in a fantasy way, to have I cast magic missile out of my hand and those darts head towards somebody, because that is just the nature of the
And
so it's very fun. I like
I just
it.
came up with a whole new campaign idea.
Well, write it down.
No, I'm going to share it in case anybody wants
cool.
to use it.
Great.
In every world I've ever been in, every world I've been a part of, the adventurers have usually been trained by other adventurers, and this and that and this and whatever. What if the PCs were the only people that had the abilities that the classes
a
give?
superhero campaign.
They're superheroes, but fantasy. So the wizard is literally Doctor Strange. They're the only one that can do these things. Nobody else in the world has power like this over arcane energies, except maybe the rare exception. The fighter is literally like the Hulk. Well, I guess more barbarian would be like the Hulk. That would be really incredible to see, these as superheroes, like literally how the world might change around them and they might be seen differently. I like that a lot. That's a really cool idea.
Now I want to give it. Now I want to give that campaign my original one-shot title, The Spectaculars.
Ooh.
See, now I just want to give. I want to give that to you because mine didn't actually pan out to be anything like a superhero story. Okay, so
no, I'd rather writing it down sounds like a lot of work. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there, and then I'll ask Angela a couple weeks from now, like, what the hell was that idea that I had?
How about I just clip it?
Perfect. There you go. So you had two. There were two others. Oh, do you want to go to the question? We don't have much time, so let's go to the question.
Yeah. Root's question was, "What is your opinion of third-party influence on a D&D stream?" Well, if you're talking third-party content, Logan's your guy. Like, Logan uses Cobalt Press and other sources for a lot of his monsters and stuff.
Yeah, if that's what you're talking about.
Notoriously uses things like that. He's got monsters and stuff that they have been etched into the annals of history of our campaigns, like that fucking clown guy.
I think the Jester, yeah. That's one of my favorite. It's absolutely one of my favorite characters. The Cobalt Press came out with was I don't remember what it was called, the Dread Jester or something like that. And he has the ability to draw and from the deck of many things and throw the cards at people to force them to use those cards. And he's such a chaotic creature that, good or bad, he will. I mean, even if it's benefit to them, he will still just do it because it's just the idea of chaos.
Okay, I just clipped it, so your idea has been saved. It was actually almost a complete minute, so I got the whole thing. Oh, okay. No, I understand now. Root's talking about the audience affecting the stream. So we
we talked about
third-party
that a lot, too.
influence that.
Got it.
So So Shenanigoons has been basically has become a campaign. At least the first season became something that maybe wasn't built around it, but was built to play nice with the idea of audience participation. And we've had for a year now have had long conversations about how best to utilize audience participation in streams. And that there's not really one right or wrong way to do it. It just depends on the kind of game you want and the kind of influence you want to give the audience, because you can have them interacting in a lot of different capacities. And if you don't mind something more freeform and improvised, you can give them a lot of control. It definitely can. It definitely can influence, or it can affect the cohesiveness of your story. So figuring out where the limitations of that control are is really important, depending on what your comfort level is. So ours is wild magic surges were happening anyway when we were doing stuff. So like if we had a goofy play on the idea of if we make a reference, if we made two references from the same source in the same episode, we'd roll on the wild magic table. So like somebody makes a Monty Python and the Holy Grail reference, and then later somebody makes another one. Oh, you told two that you only get one. And so that turned into the audience can force wild magic surges because they are donating to the stream. And that just became a built into the world that Logan actually just established this idea of magic poisoning that we've just been exposed by virtue of working for this organization that collects magic items. We've just been exposed to arcane timey-wimey bullshit, and so weird stuff would happen. So I think we've gotten relatively comfortable with the level of interaction that we have, which, by the way, Logan, if you didn't see, Matthew Siebert yesterday after stream said he'd already concocted
we
his first
it.
NPC thing.
So from the DM perspective, it's nice to have a challenge. I'm when I'm playing a game like this, I am very much in control. But even if I may not seem like I am, but there's some times when, I have no idea what's going on, but for the most part, I'm in control. And I really enjoy putting the players on edge. We get some of our best content when we put them on the spot or on edge. And it's something that we have in Session Zeros talked about and set up a pre-existing social contract that I can do that. So don't just put your players on edge for no reason. And with that, I realize that I don't really get put on edge. They do occasionally catch me off guard. So adding this kind of gives me the opportunity to show, to have that happen to me, to be the one that kind of put on the spot. So when somebody pops in and donates $25, which is a lot of money, to create an NPC, I have to give that NPC value and attention. I have to give them $25 worth. And for the most part, I try to keep them as recurring NPCs. I try to fit them into the campaign long term. Brindle Hooves was there. The unicorn last season was there for every major moment, literally till the end. And but then we have sometimes that people come in just for bit moments. We had I think it was Critical Bard came in and donated $25 to give to create an NPC that I didn't know who it was at first, but they just, after describing it turned out it was Toad from Mario, basically, but specifically the one that was singing the Mariah Carey Christmas song, what is it, All I Want for Christmas, very badly, and their name was Froggy, and so I had to kind of incorporate them, but I didn't know that I was going to be able to do it long term. So what I did was I actually went and found the audio, piped it in, and we listened to it for 4 minutes straight, while Kyle was in character trying to donate money to the guy to get him to stop, and he just kept screaming at him in the face, which was hilarious to me. And if I thought I could have gotten away with actually singing myself, I would have. But it was hilarious with the audio. So
Root had a good suggestion for the Wheel of Causality.
Oh yeah.
Their voice changes. They have to, like, the character has to do a different accent or a different voice.
That's a fun one. So that is that I really enjoy having those things happen. We're being very careful this season. One of the things we noticed last season was that nobody really bought any rerolls. I think one reroll was bought the entire time. So we've lowered the price of rerolls down to $5 from $10. So I think we'll see a few more of those. At 15, we'll still have the Wheel of
And not
Causality.
only is that, it's not necessarily buying a reroll that will happen in that moment. It's a reroll that gets to go into a
they can use
party
it whenever.
pool. So it is overall helping the party instead of like, I need to reroll right now. It's like, no, you're giving them the ability to
do a reroll at any
something
time
in the future.
And then there's for $15 we'll do the Wheel of Causality, which was a good price last time. I think it was set right where we wanted to be.
Of them.
We got plenty of them, but not so many that became overwhelming. Then we've got at $25 we're going to still do the donation one, but the $50 one, we're changing it from just kind of a moment out of time. I think we're going to be going to full DM powers for a short amount of time, probably 30 seconds. So one player will get full DM powers. They get to control the game. I'll set up a scene where they're at and everything.
Say, are there do you think there are going to be rules to that? Like you can't just say, and then magically it didn't happen.
Yeah. No, you have to stick within the existing, surroundings of what's happening. But you can make things magically appear and do awesome things. It's gonna be very goofy, very silly, and if it becomes ridiculous, we can put more rules in place.
It kind of makes me think of the guy from Flintstones, the Martian from the future. Like some dude pops in and goes,
Gizmo.
Or Q from Star Trek. Like it's almost as if that guy shows up and just lets you have the powers of a god. That might actually be kind of a fun way to justify it.
Might be.
To create a character who pops in and lets you do something like
but it's Q from James Bond, and he's very confused why he's there. I
have a pen that explodes. DM Ex Machina. That's a really good name.
All right, Root of all beers. Who the heck are you? You've got some really good suggestions. Thank you.
Very, very good. I'm writing it down.
That's really good. I like it. But yeah, so and that was what it was originally, the idea that they could take a moment out of time and do something spectacular and fix the problem or whatever. But I think the idea of having, we've seen this on a different channel. We've actually pretty much stolen all these ideas from another channel. That's okay. We've gotten permission to steal them. But the DM's powers can get a little ridiculous. And it will be very interesting to see what happens. But we tried to change it a little bit last time and just make it a single moment that they could do something amazing. And now I think the idea that it's 30 seconds of DM power anytime, anywhere, whatever they want to do, I think that's more likely it'll happen more often.
I think it functionally achieves a similar effect. Whereas you could say, and we're going to take a flashback moment to the moment you guys all decided beforehand what you were going to do. Like, I feel like that's within the rights of the DM if they were given.
Maybe, yeah. You can't hear you. Your thing fell off.
Sorry, to do that sort of thing. I think it achieves a similar thing that the time stop was meant to do, which was, okay, you basically functionally have the opportunity to do whatever you need to do right now.
Yeah, and I would also say that it can also just be something goofy and silly in the moment. This campaign is meant to be a very serious campaign set in a very goofy world, or maybe vice versa. Maybe it's a very goofy campaign set in a very serious world. I don't know which yet, but it's one or the other, and maybe sometimes it's both at different times. So that's that. So that's one of the things we're thinking about doing there. For that. So, but I really absolutely love the challenge of it. I love what exists in the minds of our spectators, because I think every single time it has brought something amazing to the game. There may have been twice that I struggled. Once was really early on with our very first or second one. There was some sort of creature, some sort of NPC that was created. And then there was one that I really struggled with, which was the Sherlock Holmes type character, the TR Toys. That one was tough. But overall, no, it's been great. I don't have a problem with it. However, if you're going to play a very serious campaign, it is not something you can do. A third-party influence in this way doesn't quite work. I was speaking with Trooper SJP. You can find them at Trooper SJP. Is it? Yeah, I think that's it. Definitely at twitch.tv/Trooper SJP. And he was talking to me about this type of influence and about third-party influence. And one of the things he specifically said was, in a serious campaign, because when you're on a stream, especially when you're working with a third party, a network or something, you need to make money. You got a lot of people involved, a lot of people doing a lot of work. So when he's been talking about these new streams, he's got a new one coming up too. I'll try to find the info on that. He's been working on for a long time. When those types of things start happening, you got to figure out how you're going to make money. Well, you can't have that direct influence. Sometimes it's too much. There are other games that literally people can like directly influence massive parts of the game, and it just doesn't work out. So what he wanted to do was to create the ability to donate to these factions, these sort of magical groups. And I'm not going to tell you much more about it, but the idea is it's all outside influence that then allows the players to decide what to do with that influence and that power. And I thought a great one would be like it's a cyberpunk game where you got the different corporations, or a vampire campaign, you got the different clans, and people
so you
can
have
donate.
factions with different types of worldviews, different types of influence, different types of motivations,
and the players each belong to a different
resources.
one. And so the more donations that go to each of those factions affects the player's influence within the game.
That would work out really. We should talk to Tessa about that. That actually would work out really well for an Urban Shadows game.
Well, depending on what type of game she's going to do, sure.
Yeah, but if Urban Shadows is entirely dependent on this idea of debt and like what you owe different factions in your world, in your city, or in your location, yeah, I think that could work really, really well. Filing it away for later.
So
I saved something recently. I found an I shared it with Kyle, but I never shared it with you, Logan, and I don't know when I'm ever going to use it, so I should share it now. Because we're about to.
Yeah, we're a little over, but it's okay.
We're over. So somebody wrote. I found this on Tumblr. This was a post that somebody made that was a really beautiful characterization of a villain that doesn't. Rather, a sympathetic villain. So this villain, so it's just a quote. So it's a piece of writing that a couple of people put together. Shh, it's all right, the villain said. You're doing beautifully, and I'm so proud of you. But that's enough now. It was cruel of them to make you fight me. You could never have won. It's not your fault. Like, it says, the ancient and powerful villain may have had a calm and gentle face as he spoke, but he was furious. Not at the heroes, but the gods for continually sending children to fight their battles.
Jesus. I like that.
I will murder you, but it's not your fault. I have an issue with them. It's not about you. But yeah, it's really good. I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
Also, my new favorite thing. You arrive at a gate with 2 guards. Guard 1. Halt, traveler. You must solve our riddle to continue. Guard 2. Here we go. Guard 1. One of us only tells the truth. The other only tells lies. Guard 2. Jesus Christ, Daniel, I said I was sorry.
I like that. That's good.
Like, I really just really wanna start a scene like that where it's just like, nope, your job is to try to solve their interpersonal problems. Those are just the people you meet at the front of the gate, or the front of the dungeon.
That's funny.
That just made me really happy. I found a bunch of really fun things that I'm excited to incorporate into games, and a couple of those were really, really good.
Yeah.
I have notes about trashy romance titles. Love in the Time of Necromancy is one of the ones.
Yeah, somebody had mentioned, since we're going to be doing a new campaign, that we might need new books, and somebody mentioned trashy romance in something. I can't remember what it was, but I'm pretty happy with what Ren came up with. They came up with what was it? Legend of the Oyster Man. I'm very happy with that.
Someday we're gonna meet the Oyster Man, aren't we?
Yeah, cuckoo, get you.
Anyway, we should
wrap up. And Root, whatever your other option is, we would love to hear it. You can DM us. You can put it there. You can find us on our Discord. Tweet at us, or put it right there. Oh, there you go. Yeah, exactly. That type of thing. That's basically the type of idea that was being talked about in Trooper SJP's game. Is that the influence is a little different than that, but the influence would allow them to have a direct in-game benefit depending on who got the most or how much.
Benefit rather
But
than
it's
an
not-
actual influence,
Yeah.
something that is established as the benefit, not the
Not
play,
a political
not the audience
RP
randomly
benefit,
choosing
exactly.
the action that happens.
And specifically, I think it was a pool resource. So every week you got more of that pool, whether or not you were the top person. So then everyone kind of can still benefit equally. And some people in the PCs may be part of the same factions. The DM got the other factions benefits if there wasn't a player, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, no, it's a really great idea. I like that a lot. Okay, shall we cash corner?
Yes, really quick. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're wrapping up. We're a little over the power hour, but it's the power hour. Emphasis on power rather than hour. And so
I faded us to black instead. There we go. We're good.
Okay.
I was supposed to fade in the penguin, but
we needed a dramatic entrance for the
penguin.
penguin.
We did, yes. The transitions flipped spaces, so they were in the wrong space.
The little penguin can fit underneath the chat now because there's a cool little blank
That's
space.
where the image is. No, that's where the captioner is supposed to be. I forgot to turn it on today.
Oh, gotcha.
So I figured the captioner was more important than the chat.
Yes, so this is the Cash Corner. We just talk a little bit about who we are and how you can support us if you liked what happened. I'll try to be as quick as I can today. We are part of the Nerdsmith network. You can go to nerdsmith.org to find out more. We're a collective of creators and shows that we try to make really fun stuff, and that is acceptable. Logan may be the money penguin today. We are part of this show, The Power Hour. Logan and I are also creators on Shenanigans that runs every Tuesday. And again, you can find out all of our shows, and you can find out about our in-house shows, our self-produced shows from other creators, and our Friends of the Network, which are shows that we very much like and think you should check out as well. And yeah, so check us out. If you'd like to support us here directly, you can do so on Patreon. You can do that at patreon.com/nerdsmith. Your donations get you fun behind the scenes stuff and bonus content from all of our network shows, and also give you also helps to support all the shows in our network. We try to share the love a little bit and directly supports our in-house shows that us directors make. So please check us out on patreon.com/nerdsmith. We are also supported by two amazing sponsors. Die Hard Dice is a really kick-ass dice company. They make metal and polymer dice. I'm trying really hard to ignore Logan right now. Die Hard Dice makes beautiful dice and dice accessories. You can get a scroll of rolling, which helps you store your dice, and it's a portable dice mat to roll your dice on. They also have portable dice towers and dice trays. Really beautiful work. They are a great company and some very nice people. And we are also sponsored by World Anvil. World Anvil is an online campaign management and world building website. You can make basically a giant wiki for your worlds. Are you an author or a role player, a DM, just a storyteller in general? Anything you want to build out to make a world of fiction of your choosing, you can do at World Anvil. World Anvil is free to try. You can go ahead and sign up and you get some really cool kick-ass features completely free. And if you decide you really like them and you want to support them and get some cool customization options to, say, make your World Anvil space look pretty and special and unique, or you want to get some more features to be able to interact with your audience if you're a content creator for the public, you can join them as a guild member for very small amounts of yearly or monthly subscription. You get some really cool, very professional customization features on World Anvil. So please check them out and light up the forge with World Anvil.
Oh, this penguin has some stamina. Fuck.
So yeah, that's our Cash Corner. Those are the big things we really would like you to pay attention to and potentially consider sharing the love.
Yeah.
And we are so incredibly grateful that those of you who stuck around. I know that doing the Cash Corner at the end of the show, not really the best way to retain viewership, but we appreciate you anyway. So
we also went a little long today.
Yeah.
People have to go back to work at 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say we gotta latch onto that lunch crowd. So anyway, we are the Nerdsmith Power Hour. You can find us every Wednesday, noon PST, 3 p.m. Eastern. Here talking about whatever you want. Find us on Twitter at We Are Nerdsmith. Let us know if you want to talk about anything. Just use the hashtag Nerdsmith Power Hour. I think is what it is. So yeah, just hit us up or tag either one of us. You can find our Twitters under our names here. So yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right, everybody, please have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. And please do us both a very big favor and be good to each other. Thank you so much. Goodbye.